Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Hope I'm audible to everyone. In today's current affairs session, we will cover important news between 4th March to 9th March. This current affairs sessions will have two parts. In first part, I am going to cover important current affair of this week, and in next part, I am going to cover some MCQ part. Just like last week we have covered, in that MCQ, I'll cover August important news, that is August 2022 important news, so that it can be beneficial for both aspiring for 2024 or 2023. So this way, this current affairs session will have two parts. So let's start with the first part. In this sessions, what are the topic we are going to cover? Let's have a look on that topic, and let's first have some summary, and then I'll start each by one. So the first topic I have here is scrub typhus. It's a disease. I'll tell you the detail about this. Caused by which virus and all, what are the symptoms, and everything will be covered under this. Second topic is related to Quad. You know that Quad comprises of 4 countries: USA, India, Japan, and Australia. These are the 4 countries. That's why it is called Quad. Initially, when it was established as a security purpose. Now it is trade, security, political, all, everything under this. We will discuss in detail. Next is about Sathi. It is a test portal. You know that various students who cannot offer guidance regarding various coachings programs and all. So government has launched this portal for them so that they can affordable coaching and guidance regarding the exam. Next is PM Kusum. We will read in detail. It is regarding the non-conventional source of energy, that is solar power plant, and schemes about this we will read in this. Okay. Next we have Hindu growth rate. Okay, can all the students who are listening me, can you confirm what is Hindu growth rate? Anyone know about it? Is it related to growth of Hinduism? Is it related to growth of Hinduism? Anyone? Okay, we will discuss whether it is related to religion or it is not at all related with the religion. So we will discuss that. You will see that. Next is salt flat. It is a you can say a type of एक तरह का ground है जो कि salt के evaporations के बाद form होता है. That is called salt flat, and it has a geographical importance. Spy balloon. You know that many enemy countries send this type of balloon, pigeons, and they have some spy camera, radar, or something like that. So what are the strategy to counter that? We will read in this. Next is Charai Dei Maidan. It is in the news because of archaeological, and it is in the UNESCO site. It is in Assam, and it is related to Ahom dynasty. We will read in details when we go to the topic. Next topic is about migration, the absence of data and coordination between states. It is related to migrations, how migration is impacting, you know that, and it is important for men's also. In men's, they are going to ask about what is the cause of migration, what is the solution of the migrations, and how urban city is going to, like, you know that the density of Delhi is very high. Why? Because due to migration. And which are the state responsible for this migration, or we can directly say why it is responsible for the migration. Entirely we cannot hold the state now for the region of migration. Even historical causes during British era or the earlier stage of development, that is first 5-year plan and all, we do not pay any special focus on those states like Bihar, Odisha, Jharkhand. So these are the states which are mainly responsible for migrations. And that's why the urban cities like Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata suffered. So what is the solution, or what is the way forward? So that is according to men's point of view, but it is also according to prelims point of view. And so we are going to cover all these topics in coming 40 minutes or 1 hour. So be with me, and then we will move to the MCQ part. Okay, every topic will be covered in detail. Coming to our first topic, you know that it is related to a disease. So whenever you read a topic which is related to the disease, what are the things you need to read in that? First, you have to study that disease is caused by which virus. The first point you need to discuss or you need to read. देखो, जब आप यूपीएससी का प्रिपरेशन करते हो तो जब किसी भी टॉपिक को, when you pick any topic, always try to read it in coordination with UPSC. You are not reading, you are not going to be the biologist, or you are not going to be the going to enter in medical science. So you are going to appear for UPSC. So for UPSC, a research is not required for a scrub typhus. For UPSC, what you have to study, which virus caused it, if there any vaccine available for it or not. So first is disease. Second part you have to cover, vaccine is available or not. Third part you have to cover symptom, because in UPSC they can ask that these are the symptom of disease. So which type of disease it is. So they can ask that. And rest you can ask about if any outbreak or something like that, that you can read. So in this also we will going to read these 4 important factors, 3-4 important factors. And for every disease you need to cover this. So coming back to scrub typhus, as name suggests, typhus, you know that there is a disease called typhoid, which is related to fever. So in typhus also symptom is related to that also. But it is called by larval mites. I'll show you in the next slide what larval means, what larva means, and how it is causing this disease. I'll show you that in the next slide. But the most important thing, it is caused by Orientia sugmusi. This is the name of bacteria. So again, the important point, whether it is a virus-borne disease or bacteria, it is a bacteria-borne disease. This you need to understand, because sometimes this question is also asked. It is a virus-borne disease or bacteria-borne disease. So it is a bacteria-borne disease, and then the name of the bacteria is written here. Next, it is spread through bites of larval mites. What is larval mite? I'll show you then. That is like a makhi ka type ka hota hai. And family of Trombyclid, also called chiggers. So what is chiggers? That also I'll show. What are the symptoms? Fever, same like typhoid, headache, body ache, and sometimes rashes. These are the symptoms of that disease. So you have to note down the symptom. You have to note down the virus or bacteria that is causing the disease, or vaccine. Unfortunately, no vaccine is available. We have to take several combination of medicines, and through which this disease is cured, like azithromycin, doxycycline, etc. So these are the antibiotics. So point is, scrub typhus still do not have any vaccine. It is caused by the bacteria. Name of the bacteria is already highlighted. Third point is the symptom of this is fever, headache, body ache, etc. Okay. Now coming to its, I'll show you the disease, how it is called. As in this diagram, you can see that this is a rat. So on this rat, a small larva, feed on this rat, and if human eat this rat or something, then human is bound to suffer from that disease. So that diagram is descriptive. That larva feed on this mouth, then it grow, and then after that it population increases. Then again this form egg and then larva, and this larva is impacting the human being. So this cycle explaining everything about the disease. So either human being can directly eat this rice, mouse, rabbit or something, and if that mouse or rabbit have that bacteria or larva in that. Just a second. Okay, so as I was saying that there are 2 ways to impact this disease impact. First, either human being eat this type of rabbit or something, or directly through this larva. So this was the disease scrub typhus. Okay. Next symptom you can symptom you have already discussed, and what are the solutions I will discuss in the deck. So treatment guideline. There is till date monotherapy, that is a combination of various medicine, antibiotic, and you know that in our biology system there are a lot of diseases that can be cured through antibiotic, like cetirizine, doxycycline, azithromycin. Even during COVID also Earlier we tried these medicine also. So this is the treatment guideline. This you can go through and read. Okay. Now coming to our next topic, that is Quad. So what is this? Okay, before understanding the Quad, you have to understand 4-5 terms. What are those terms? First of all, okay. Already I have mentioned 4 countries part of Quad, that is Australia, USA, India, and Japan. These are the 4 countries who is still the part of Quad. How Quad is formed? Let me explain you the history of this. Actually, what has happened when tsunami occurred during 2004? So these 4 countries voluntarily came together to help the nation that is around South China Sea or Indo-Pacific. The nation which is around Indo-Pacific, what are the nations that I'll show you in the next slide. But the nation which are around Indo-Pacific or South China Sea. So these were the nations which have been impacted by tsunami. So these 4 nations voluntarily come and help to those nations which are around South China Sea that have been impacted due to tsunami. तो पहला केस बहुत सिंपल है कि सुनामी आया था 2004 में और उन नेशंस को मदद करने के लिए ये फॉर्म हुआ था. अब बात आती है स्टोरी यहाँ पे कि when it started after this tsunami volunteer is over, this nation this Quad has no importance. So it was you can say that ये dormant हो गया और शांत होके बैठ गया. Again in 2007, Prime Minister of Japan, that is Shinzo Abe, then Prime Minister. Right now he is not the Prime Minister. Then Prime Minister Shinzo Abe called for Quad again. Why he again called for Quad? Because this China, you know that we also call China as a dragon. So dragon is expanding its base. जो चाइना था ये अपना बेस जो है वो साउथ चाइना सी में और इंडो पैसिफिक ओशियन के अराउंड जो है ये अपना बेस को एक्सपेंड कर रहा था. China refused to follow maritime law. Again, the term you have to understand. China refused to follow maritime law, which govern this Indo-Pacific Ocean or South China Sea. So you can say that the tie which China has between Indo-Pacific nation countries and South China Sea around countries, China refused to follow that maritime law, and China completely tries to dominate on those countries. So to challenge China, Japan has tried to include these 3 nations, Australia, USA, and India, so that together we can challenge the China, because you know that China is a superpower and alone Japan cannot control China. So these 3 again a Quad is formed, that is in 2007, that is first 2004, then in 2007. But when this group was formed in 2007, again China became active. China बोला ये कैसे हो सकता है, हमारे खिलाफ तुम लोग गुटबाजी करेगा और अब तुमको छोड़ देंगे. So China started giving statement and threatening India and other countries that we will break economic ties and all. So at that time, these countries, at that time the Prime Minister of India was Manmohan Singh and the Shinzo Abe. So they did not do much. They again became dormant. फिर से वो शांत होके बैठ गया ये Quad. फिर 2017 में, after 10 years, again they again become active, and this time they are directly challenging to China. You know that India has banned so many apps of China, around 200 apps. I know some of you may be TikTok follower or have some hundreds TikTok follower, and you might be sad about that. But it was under that influence only this 200 apps have been banned, and various economic steps have been taken to you can say warn China that we are no more threatened from you. मतलब चाइना को एक तरह से आंख दिखाया गया. तो जो ड्रैगन लाल आंखें दिखा रहा था ये क्वाड ने मिलके उसको फिर से लाल आंखें दिखाया। कब दिखाया? 2017 में। तो जो 2004 से बनना शुरू हुआ था, बट मींस व्हिच हैव बीन स्टार्टेड इन 2004, फाइनली फुल्ली एस्टैब्लिश्ड इन 2017. Although if it is asked about establishment year, it is 2007, because in 2004 it was just formed for a voluntary activity, that is for tsunami, so that is not counted. 2007 you can say, but between these 10 years no much activity was there. Now various activities taking place like Malabar exercise. This is a very important. Please, all those who are appearing for 2023 must read all military exercise which is going on between between two countries, that is bilateral military exercise, or between different countries like multilateral. So all you have to read. So this Malabar Abhyas we call it, or Malabar exercise between these four countries, and it is very beneficial for both the point of view, military also, and for the trade and tie also. So these is the history of Quad which I was trying to explain. And now what they are doing, that they are strengthening their tie. Even they have formed Quad Plus, in which New Zealand, Vietnam, and one more country is entering, and South Korea. So these are the three more countries which will be the member of this, and that will be called as Quad Plus. So what they are basically trying to do is trying to encircle China, or trying to challenge China because China is not ready to means you can say that China मान नहीं रहा है और maritime law को. So these are the 4 points you have to study. Quad plus. The current news is Quad plus. New Zealand, Vietnam, and South Korea. Maybe some more entry you can see in coming year. So these are Quad plus. Why this Quad? Because of Indo-Pacific tension. Just I am summarizing what I have explained. Indo-Pacific tension. This Quad is Indo-Pacific tension, or you can say specifically South China Sea dominant. South Sea dominant of China. Okay. The third point is China is not obeying maritime law with this country. And fourth is Quad is no more a security. जब इसको पहली बार फॉर्म किया गया था तो सिक्योरिटी पर्पज से किया गया था, बट राइट नाउ इट इज नॉट मोर फॉर सिक्योरिटी ओनली, इट इज फॉर ट्रेड, पॉलिटिकल, security. Okay, so everything, now they are everything. But the point when you are writing answers for men's, when you are explaining the Quad, do not write that it is formed to threaten China. You have to write that it is just to neutralize the effect of China or dominance of China in Indo-Pacific region. So it is just a neutralization. We are not trying to threaten any country, and that is not even in our foreign policy also. Hope you have already read about foreign policy, international relations. So we are not trying to threaten anyone. It's just to neutralize effect, or who is trying to dominate, just to save those countries. We are doing all this. Point one. Point two, you have to write that this Quad plus in coming year is going to have a great impact of economical values also, because they will give us some weapons and everything. So trade and economics, these two things will flourish for India. So these are the main important aspect of Quad. Okay. Okay. Coming back to topic, you can see what I have explained. The country name of Indo-Pacific, you can see through the I'll zoom it out. You can see the name of that. This Japan, South Korea, Myanmar, New Zealand, Australia, Indonesia, and everything that you can see. Okay. Now the India and Australia is having a diplomatic relations. Independence period, when Consulate General India was first opened trade office in Sydney in 1941. Since this news recently in news, because you know that this Prime Minister, this Anthony Albanese, the Australian Prime Minister, is in India. Some of you who are the cricket lover, जो क्रिकेट को देखते हैं, उनको पता होगा कि अभी अहमदाबाद में इनको स्वागत किया गया था. And if though both even watch India and Australia Test series, that is Border Gavaskar Trophy, which is going on. So both the prime minister together watch that. So that's why it is in context or it is in the news. You can read the detail. I'll share complete details after the sessions with you. These are the bilateral trade details between India and Australia. There is a figure written here. What are the trade and all? So that is how these both are boosting their ties. Everything is explained in this current slide that you can check. Okay. Even in science and technology, both are having a great tie and everything. India minister, yes. One I am talking about Malabar. That is a Malabar exercise is a multilateral. That is between different countries. But this between India and Australia, this exercise is known as US Induct. मतलब ऑस्ट्रेलिया का US है, इंडिया का IND है और EX मतलब exercise. So this US Ind exercise is related to India-Australia military relations. So this is entirely a new exercise between India and Australia every year. So this is also, you can say, the benefits of Quad. In mains, they can ask what are the means how Quad is beneficial for India, because in UPSC you are mainly you have to read in perspective of India. So okay, story is ठीक है कि सारे country आए सब कुछ. But if UPSC asking how it is beneficial for India, so you have to show all this, that how military tie is improving, how trade is improving, how economic facilities between India and Australia is improving. So that has been covered in this complete slide. Okay. What are the challenges between two? Okay. You know that if everything is good, that never sound good. सब कुछ अच्छा हो रहा है मतलब कुछ तो खराब हो रहा है. So that is explained here. So India trade deficit with Australia, it has been increasing since due to India-Australia free trade agreement. फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट से जो है ट्रेड डिफिसिट इंक्रीज हुआ है. अगेन जापान अमेरिका का जो एक पार्टनरशिप हुआ है उससे भी ऑस्ट्रेलिया थोड़ा नाराज है. एंड इवन सम ऑफ द रेसिस्ट अटैक व्हिच इज टेकिंग प्लेस इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया, सम ऑफ द इंडियन हैज बीन अटैक्ड एंड देयर हैव बीन सम रेसिस्ट स्लग हैव बीन पास्ड अगेंस्ट देम. सो दैट इज okay. Coming to the next topic, that is SATHI, SATHEE. What does it expect? Self-assessment tests and helpful entrance exam. I've already explained this, that it is this platform is formed by the government to help all those who are poor, deprived, and could not afford coaching guidance. So government is helping them by this app. The platform self-assessment test help for entrance exam has been prepared by association with Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur. So IIT Kanpur has prepared this, aims to bridge the gap between student and society who can't afford costly entrance exam guidance and coaching. So these are for them. So SATHI aims to make a student learn concept, focus on their weak topic. They feel confident, give any exam, watching video prepared by IIT and ISC. So the video will also be prepared by IIT and some of the renowned professor of IIT, and this will help them to read. A data is given, it provides free learning resources including 800 videos and 12 regional languages. You know that Prime Minister is very concerned about new economic policy which have been brought, new education policy which have been brought in the field of education. So to implement that also this activity need to be done. For IIT, AIIMS and various other examinations, you know, the fee is very high, lakhs of rupees are charged. So if this type of schemes is successful, then it will surely help many students in coming years or in future to come. Okay, because human resource is the best resource. India have human, but whether they are resource or not, it depends on government, or it depends on whether they have been invested in health education or not. Only human is not sufficient. There is a very famous slogan which is said regarding Japan. You know that Japan people are very punctual, and when they are very developed, even they face tsunami bhi unhone face kiya or everything, still they are one of the developed nations. Why? Because their people say that other country have people, we have citizen. So try to be the citizen. Do not want only be the people of country. Okay. So coming to the next topic, it is about PM Kusum. Again, I have already explained that it is related to solar plant, where government is giving subsidy to install solar plant. The government of India extend deadline of the PM Kusum scheme by the Ministry of New Renewable Energy to install 30,000 megawatt solar power capacity. Okay, one more thing I want to mention here. Any scheme related to government, when you read, always try to focus on the department who launched that scheme. मतलब कौन से department का वो scheme है? Ministry of Health का है, Rural Department का है, Housing का है, किसका है? क्योंकि UPSC कई बार इस तरह के सवाल पूछता है कि under which department this scheme has been launched. So that's why I have already highlighted. It is under Ministry of New Renewable Energy to install solar power capacity in India by 2022. What are the features? You can read here. That is, data is given. You can cover it by yourself. It is a scheme by Ministry of New Renewable Energy launched in 2019. Why it is in news now? Because the deadline have been increased. Earlier deadline. So like this also is delayed. Okay. Along with India's commitment to increase the share of installed capacity of electric power from non-fossil fuels, that is 40% by 2030, as part of intended nationally determined contribution. You know that the conventional source of energy is limited. Okay. So we have to search for alternative non-conventional source of energy like solar, wind, tide, etc. India have enough potentials like Gujarat, in Ahmedabad also, that is sun for sun and wind also, in Hyderabad also. But India still is not explored that potential to its fullest. So that need to be done so that we can leave something for future generation. Okay, if all petrol will be used by our generation, then the future generation will surely have nothing left. So the conventional source of energy is limited, so that has to be judiciously utilized. What is we call sustainable development? We have already read about that. What is sustainable development and how it functions. Coming to the next topic is Hindu growth rate. When I have started the session, I have already asked, is it related to growth of Hindu? Still, I am repeating the question. Any online student want to say something? Is it related to growth of Hindu? Anyone? Okay, chalo, मैं ही बता देता हूँ. I'll explain it. First point is that it has nothing to lead with religion. Hindu growth rate को religion से कुछ भी लेना देना नहीं है. It is not related at all. Otherwise, फिर पता चलता Muslim growth rate, Christian growth rate, something like that. But why it is in news? First of all, again, point is that one of the former RBI governor, Raghu Ram Rajan, has stated that India is close to Hindu growth rate. What does it mean? Actually, for this we have to go in history somewhat. When India launched its first 5-year plan, that is 51 to 56, at that time our growth rate was below 4%. Between 1951 to, you can say, 60s till 60s, it was below 4%. So growth rate which is close to 4% or below 4% is called Hindu growth rate. Now point is, why it is called Hindu growth rate? Who coined this term? It is in the news because Raghu Ram Rajan has said that. Simple. But who coined this term? And why it is in the news? Because Raghu Ram ne cover kar liya. But who said that? So the next slide covers this. So it was coined by economist Raj Krishna in 1978 to describe slow growth in the country. Okay. Now point is, if it was a slow growth rate, why it is called Hindu growth rate? Why not Christian? Why not some other religion growth rate? Actually, at that time, there are so much. You can read the two words. Here it is written, contentment. In Indian economy, 3 and the came into the being so India's contentment and low growth rate post independent. Actually, क्या होता था? उसमें जो हम कहते हैं ना, ये भाग्य से हो रहा है. तो at that time, whatever thing was happening, ऐसा टर्म क्या आता था कि ये भाग्य से हो रहा है, मतलब भाग्य भरोसे हो रहा है. And this भाग्य भरोसे, the Hindi term was mostly used by Hindu. That जो कर रहे हैं भगवान कर रहे हैं, ग्रोथ रेट है तो भगवान के सहारे है. तो हम लाचार थे, ऐसा लग रहा था कि हम लाचार चल रहे थे. So that time it was termed as Hindu growth rate, and the word contentment, that we were satisfied with that growth rate. एज इफ वी आर सेइंग दैट ठीक है, इसमें अब कुछ नहीं हो सकता है, जो ग्रोथ रेट है वो सही है, यही होगा. सो प्रोफेसर राज कृष्णा टर्म इट एज अ हिंदू ग्रोथ रेट, ऑल्दो इट वाज इन विवाद में था कि हिंदू ग्रोथ रेट ही क्यों बोला गया, बट व्हाई इट वाज टर्म हिंदू ग्रोथ रेट, बिकॉज ऑफ द टर्म यूज्ड बाय हिंदू, दैट इज ये भाग्य के भरोसे हो रहा है. So the growth rate was fatal. Growth rate was Indian were satisfied with that growth rate at that time, not doing much for increase that growth rate. So that's why it was termed as Hindu growth rate. So point to be noted, Hindu growth rate is a growth close to 4%. Who coined this term? This term was coined by Professor Raj Krishna. Second point. Third point, why it is in the news now? Because government of India has predicted that in third quarter of 2023, our growth rate is going to be around 4.4%, which is close to 4%. So that's why Raghuram Rajan, ऐसा नहीं वो रघुराम राजन कोई पागल है एक दिन उठा चलो आज बोलता हूँ हिंदू ग्रोथ रेट और फिर पूरा न्यूज कवर कर रहा है, नहीं. एक्चुअली गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने प्रिडिक्ट किया था कि 2023 के थर्ड क्वार्टर में जो हमारा ग्रोथ रेट रहने वाला है, दैट वुड बी अराउंड 4%. 4.4%. Okay, so that's why this 4% term is related to Hindu growth rate. So this was in the news. You can see that historians rejected this connection and instead attributed the low growth rate to the government protections and intervention. When that Professor Raj Krishna terms was questioned by some of the philosophers, but it's okay. When he was coined, it is in the news. Okay, moving to the next. Yeah, you can read the feature of Hindu growth rate, that is low GDP rate, slow industrialization, stagnant agriculture, inefficient public sector, and lack of foreign investment. If you remember, first and second 5-year plan till Green Revolution was introduced, isn't it all the features were from them? GDP rate was somewhere around 2 to 3%. Nothing, not much in industrialization. Agriculture was not growing at the pace it should grow. At inefficient public sectors, there is nothing done. All were sleeping till globalization is done. Before that, all were sleeping. उनको लगता था चलो ठीक है सब चल रहा है, हम ही मार्केट में, हम ही प्लेयर है, हम ही कर सकते हैं. So this was a, you can say, fault of our economy, where we do not introduce any competition. Everything with the government, all will be the public sector enterprises, and government is handling everything, and all were in the losses. Like now BSNL, MTNL, everything in the losses. Okay. So this was lack of foreign investment, everything is written in this. So this was the feature of rate of growth or Hindu growth rate. Coming to the next topic, it is related to geography. Simple, what does salt flat means? I'll explain you in the simple terms. होता क्या है? Suppose this is a, you can say, जो salt का जहाँ पे इकट्ठा होता है, मैदान है यहाँ पे, and evaporation take place. So what happens once water is evaporated, the water from oceans reaches here to fill this gap. If the evaporation rate is higher, that is, suppose per day water that is evaporated is not filled by this ocean or not recharged, so that type of surface formed is called salt flat. Simple term में समझा देता हूं, जब evaporation हो रहा है किसी जगह पे, तो उस जगह के पानी को जो भरने के लिए बाकी ओशन से वाटर वहां आता है, इसको हम कहते हैं रिचार्जिंग द ग्राउंड वाटर. अगर जो रिचार्जिंग की जो रेट है वो स्लो है और एवेपोरेशन की रेट हाई है, तो सॉल्ट फ्लैट फॉर्म होता है. सॉल्ट फ्लैट मतलब कि एवेपोरेशन रेट आएगा. कैसा दिखता है? दिस हैज बीन शोन इन द इमेज, यू कैन सी इट इज कॉल्ड सॉल्ट फ्लैट. इस तरह का दिखता है क्योंकि एवेपोरेशन हो गया है सॉल्ट का. सो इट वाज इन द न्यूज एंड अदरवाइज सॉल्ट फ्लैट अराउंड द वर्ल्ड. कई सारे सॉल्ट फ्लैट होते हैं अराउंड द वर्ल्ड. सो दिस इन द नीटर refers to those natural landscape which include large area of flat salt. Salt flats are formed from natural water bodies whose recharge rate is, which I have already told you. You can read it here. Recharge rate is lower than the evaporation rate. That means evaporation rate is higher than the recharge rate. That's what I have stated. Due to lower recharge rate, the water evaporates, leaving behind dissolved minerals such as salt. Salt flat reflects sunlight strongly, hence appears bright. Okay, so this was in the news. Okay, so here the list of the some of the most well-known salt flat is given. You can read run of Kutch, salt desert of Sirjan in Iran, and etc. I'll share you the PPT. You can read or note it down. Impact of salt flat on human and climate. Wind that blowed over salt flat can carry the salt with the as particulate matter. You know what is particulate matter? In the science class 10th, you have already experimented that is Tyndall effect. जब आप खिड़की खोलते थे तो जो झरोखों से एक रोशनी आती थी उसमें कई सारे डस्ट पार्टिकल्स आपको दिखते थे. 10th 12th में टीचर्स ने आपको एक्सपेरिमेंट के लिए कहा होगा, इसको टिंडल इफेक्ट कहते हैं. That dust particle is called particulate matter. So if water means is the air takes salt around it, so that will be one of the particulate matter. Such sea salt can enter atmosphere and go on to the center of cyclone. Salt flat are large source of particulate matter, and salt suspensions are also an important group of aerosol. So indirectly these are harming environment, we can say that. Okay, so this was in the news. Coming to the next topic, spy balloon. Most of you have read in various news like spy balloon, pigeons. पाकिस्तान यूज करता है हमारे खिलाफ, जहाँ पे कि कबूतर भेजता है. पहले जमाने में कबूतर आई है, चिट्ठी लाई है, बट अभी वो चिट्ठी नहीं आती है. वो एक स्पाई होता है जो कि हमारे बॉर्डर एरियाज एंड इन एंड अराउंड दे स्पाई ऑन दैट, एंड दैट इंफॉर्मेशन इज रीच्ड टू द enemy country. Even this was used by USA, China, and even World War also this spy balloon was used. Now the point is why it is in the news, because government is planning to tackle this, and some of the new protocols have been made to tackle this. That's why it is in the news. I'll read you that protocol. What is this? This picture is all about what a spy balloon is, all how much height it, estimated trajectory and all. This you can note it down. What are spy balloon? A contemporary spy balloon is a piece of spy equipment, for example, camera, suspended beneath a balloon that floats above a given area carried by wind current. The equipment attached to the balloons may include radar and solar power. The balloons are one of the oldest form of surveillance technology. ये जापानी मिलिट्री के साथ यूज किया गया था वर्ल्ड वॉर में, but that have been already said. Now, what are the need for formulating protocol? Increasing case of spy balloon. Nowadays, this case is increasing slowly. So we need to formulate law against this. Aerial object was spotted over the Andaman. A similar entry was spotted a year ago over the strategic Andaman and Nicobar Island. Key highlight of the draft protocol. The protocol includes military plans and actions when similar slow-moving aerial object may be detected for positive identification. So this was in the news. Next topic is Charai Dei Maidan. What is this? Actually, why it is in the news? Actually, there was a home kingdom, and it had a specific shape of ground structure, which is in the news as it was included or ready to be included in UNESCO World Heritage Center. So that's why it is in the news. It is in Assam, has more than 90. Assam, this type of structure, 90, more than 19 structure. How is the structure look like? I'll explain you. Here it is the shape of the structure. You can see it is the shape of the structure. So this look like that, and underground vault, one or more chambers having domical superstructure. It is covered by heap of earthen mound and extremely appears a hemisphere mound. At the top of the mound, a small open and provided. So this was the shape. You can read simply why it is in the news, because it is included or going to be included in UNESCO World Heritage Site. So that you have to read that much only. Explanation no need to read in this, as it is not required for UPSC purpose. Okay. Now coming to our last topic for today about migration data. What is migration data? It is the data where how much people have been migrated from one state to other. So that way, migrant worker being assaulted in Tamil Nadu and have triggered a concern about manufacturing in the state. You have already might have read that this was a rumor. There was no such incident. But yes, it happened sometime long back. If we remember, some 10 to 15 years back, in Mumbai, some Bihar state people have been beaten by Raj Thakre and all. And even in Bihar also some incident have taken place where people train going from Assam to Bihar, some of the people of that have been beaten. So this is the news that this happened. Recently, why it is in the news? Because some channel have shared a news that a Bihar migrant have been killed by Tamil Nadu people, and there is a tense environment in Tamil Nadu. So many videos have been circulated where people requested to rescue them from Tamil Nadu from the government. Even some of the videos have been, if truth have been that कि उसमें कोई सच्चाई थी ही नहीं, एंड वो लोग झूठ मूठ का अपने आप को पॉपुलर बनाने के लिए वो वीडियो शूट कर रहे थे. सो दैट वाज इन द न्यूज. नाउ द पॉइंट इज व्हाई अ माइग्रेशन अ कंसर्न फॉर इंडिया. Still a lot of people migrate. You can say the village to city. For the work 49.7, for study 4.1, family, and all the data in the given. How many people migrate? This you can read and can formulate your answers for migration. Now about constitutional provision. What constitution say in this? According to Article 19(1), if it is the you can say that anyone can reside any places in India. It is nothing, no bar from constitution side. So that is written, settle in any part of the territory. Reasonable restrictions in the interest of the general public or any scheduled tribe. So this was in tribal area, some restriction is there. Otherwise you can settle in any part of India. So constitution do not divide anyone for this, but still every state want that all the rights should be given to its citizen. Why migrants is taking all the right? So in this case, you can say that cities from where migration is taking place need to be held responsible. Government, or you can say central government, must support those cities to develop, such as Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, so that if those cities will be coming year, if those cities can be developed, so this migration program can be solved. So instead of solving problem for certain period of time, like जब ये हल्ला होता है उस समय हम कुछ forces भेज करके हम इसको शांति कर देते हैं. We have to think of long term solution where equal development of the state. Some states have been highly developed, they have been focused extra by government scheme, but some of the states are still lagging behind. So those states which are lagging behind in education, health, job, etc., that state need to be focused, that state need to be corrected, and so that even Niti Aayog is doing all this thing. They are means targeting those states and giving reviews how that can be corrected and all. But still lot to be done, and a special package need to be given to those states. Okay, so that is the issue of timely and fair payment of wages and all. What are the problem of related to migrant? Okay, so these need to be covered. Odisha and Andhra Pradesh has signed to monitor laborer moving from Odisha to BRICS, the newly formed Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so even if some states are not developed, they are signing MOU so that their workers can be secured or their worker can be protected. Okay, in 2021, Jharkhand launched the Safe and Responsible Migration Initiative to collect data and map the laborer who migrate other states. So even if that state is not developed, that state can initiate some initiative and can tie up with the developed state, and so that their worker can be safe and secure. So this is going on. Okay. So the central and state government must work together to implement the 4 labor codes soon feasible. The provision of ligaments and edible oils reduce prices through the periods in addition what is provided through One Nation One Card. This also need to be done. One Nation One Card, although government is experimenting this so that if labor is living in any places, they can get ration and everything. So this was important news of previous week, that is from 1st March to 7th March. Now what I am going to cover is important MCQ, that is whatever happened in August 2022, that will be covered by MCQ. Means I'll discuss 20 MCQ with you. I have already discussed 20 MCQ in previous session. So total will be 40 MCQ, and August important news will be completely covered. So who all are want to revise for August important current affair MCQ, they can revise through all those 40 MCQ. First part is already shared with you. I am going to discuss with the second part. The first question here is, man of the whole recently seen in the news belongs to which of the following? This means man of the whole. So what is it, and from related to which country? Actually it is related to Brazil, and native of that Brazil is man of the whole. I'll show you the explanation part. Okay, man of the whole or Tanaru Indian. The other name for the man of the whole is Tanaru Indian, was an indigenous person, that is native person who lived alone in Amazon rainforest. So he was only the native of Amazon rainforest, and you know that Amazon rainforest is in Brazil. So that's why this news is in the news, and it is the answer would be the Brazil. Next question is, consider the following. So this type of question is also asked. When you read polity, you have to be ready for some of the philosophical aspect of polity where question is asked. The question here asks is the philosophy of justice through bail is granted under Article 20 of the Indian Constitution. The first option is this. The second option, the definition of term bail is mentioned in Criminal Procedure Code CRPC. Anyone can answer this? Polity cover हुआ है बहुत लोगों का. Okay, the first is the right one. The philosophy of justice through bail is guaranteed under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. I'll try to explain something in this. Actually, what is this? First of all, read the explanation. The philosophy of justice through bail is guaranteed under Article 20 of Indian Constitution, which aims to protect life and also liberty. Provide that liberty can be deprived only through the procedure established by law. Please note this term, procedure established by the law. I am going to discuss the four terms that I'll discuss. And definition of the term bail is not mentioned in CRPC, it is mentioned in Article 21. Now I'm going to discuss the four terms. Okay. First is equality before law. Just a second. First term in polity is equality before law. Second term is equal protection of law. Third term is due process of law. And fourth and last term is procedure established by the law. These are the four important parameters of basic of polity that I'll explain you. What are these terms? And we read in fundamental right. Okay. But these all four terms have different meaning. Equality before law, equal protection of law, due process of law, and procedure established by the law. First of all, equality before a law is a negative term. How? I'll explain you. What equality before law say? Suppose a son of Ambani has done some criminal activity, and I have also done the same criminal activity. So both will be punished under this equality before law, and both will give same quantum of punishment. So both will be punished. Since the word punish is used, that's why it is a negative. Now coming to the second option, what is equal protection of law? It means law will equally protect me and as well as Ambani's son. So whosoever has done the done anything or have not done anything, both will be protected by the law. Suppose you have you will be allowed to meet with your advocate for the same crime. You will not be given. You will not be punished twice. So these things is under equal protection of law. This is again positive, taken from America. Next is due process of law. The question which was discussed is between these two. जो अभी हमने question देखा था पहला वाला, वो इसी दो के बीच में है. थोड़ा सा इसको समझिए क्या है. Due process of law and procedure established by law. What this say due process of law? That means if law is made on something, it has to be judged whether due process of law has been followed or not. That means you can say that it is fair or not. Suppose if government is making some law, suppose the government is tomorrow is making a law that all will be arrested, and the government is following all the procedure through which law should be made. मतलब government ने वो सारे काम किए हैं, लोकसभा में पास हुआ, राज्यसभा में पास हुआ, प्रेसिडेंट एसेंट हुआ, सब कुछ हुआ और एक लॉ बना. So the law is made by the procedure established by the law has been followed. But should that be followed? No, because it is injustice, it is unfair. So actually what Indian system of judiciary, the Indian judiciary system was doing, earlier only was focus was on that how law was made. If it was law is made through a proper channel, it was made through procedure established by the law, it means it is correct. I'll explain you a very famous case, that is A.K. Gopalan case. When the law of detention was there, that anybody can detain. So at that time, A.K. Gopalan, when approached Supreme Court has said that since law is made under procedure established by the law, so it is correct and you are entitled for the punishment. Okay. When it happened in 1950, A.K. Gopalan, very famous case. You can visit this case in polity. When we talk about due process of law, it was happening. This case was discussed in 1976. This was a very famous case of Maneka Gandhi case. When Maneka Gandhi passport was seized and she was not allowed to go abroad. This was during emergency. So she approached to the court and she said that her fundamental right was violated and the law which is made is not a fair or something against due process of law. Supreme Court agreed and said that it only procedure established by law is not correct. If due process of law is not followed, then that is unconstitutional, and allowed Maneka Gandhi to visit abroad. So these four terms you have to remember when you read fundamental rights in the polity: equality before law, equal protection of law, due process of law, and procedure established by the law. Okay. And very famous case, Maneka Gandhi and A.K. Gopalan, a defining case or historical movement of Indian polity. Okay, so this was the answer A. Moving to the next topic. Recently, oil vapor, that is in August, was in the news. What is it? It is an eco-friendly technology for the remediation of oil sludge and oil spill. So the first answer is the correct one. No need to read other options. The first one is the correct one. Oil vapor technology used to get rid of oil from the surface. Oil vaping is a bioremedial technique involving the use of oil vaping bacteria. So this was in the news. Moving to the next topic. Consider the following statement about ethanol as an alternative fuel. It is prepared by the fermentation of crops and plants that are rich in sugar and have the ability to be converted into cellulose and starch. So the first one is correct one. So ethanol is prepared by this method only. It is calorific value is lower than the compared to petrol. Yes, correct. That's why it is more efficient than petrol. It is highly corrosive because of ability to absorb water. Again, it is good. So all the three is the correct. So option D will be the correct one. Okay. Moving to the next question. Okay. Consider the following statement. Pulses constitute the maximum number of crops announced under minimum support price. I hope you all know about MSP. There was 1 year protest that has been due to this MSP only. Still, government is not giving MSP on all the product. Even they announce, but all the product or all the things are not purchased on MSP. The question asked here is, pulses constitute the maximum number of crop announced under minimum support price? No. Sugarcane, cotton, copra, and raw jute are the commercial crop covered under MSP. Yes, correct. So first one, second only. So C option is the correct one. Moving to the next. You can read, you can see here the center has announced MSP for 23 crops. This you can note it down because UPSC can be asked that which are the crop which is covered under MSP, and they can give you the 4 options. So you should know the name of all 23 crops which is under MSP. Okay. So this you can read it here. Moving to the next question. Saddle pass. Passage is the gap between two mountains so that people can cross. Seen in the news recently is located in Sikkim, Uttarakhand, Arunachal Pradesh or Ladakh. It is in Ladakh. Why it is in the news? Because in near this pass, some of the Chinese intruder has been seen by the grazier. वो जो घास जो बकरी वगैरह चराते हैं, उन्होंने कुछ चाइनीज को जो है यहाँ पे देखा है इंट्रूडर को, और उन्होंने गवर्नमेंट को इन्फॉर्म किया है. So that's why it is in the news, saddle pass, and it is in the Ladakh. and same area where right now the tension between India and China is going on, where China is claiming to be their territory. India graduates were stopped by the Chinese army at Damhok, Ladakh. Saddle Pass is located in the Chading Ning Lung Nala track junction and Damhok in eastern Ladakh. So it is in the Ladakh. Next question is, which of the following is are not vertical of Earth Ganga? Okay, very good questions. Earth Ganga, as name suggests, Earth means Arthik. In Hindi, it is Arthik, that is economic. गंगा यानी गंगा से जो इकोनॉमिक बेनिफिट लिया जाएगा उसको अर्थ गंगा कहते हैं. देयर इज सो मच प्रोजेक्ट रिलेटेड टू गंगा, नमामि गंगे, गंगा क्लीन मिशन एंड ऑल. तो अर्थ गंगा इज वन ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट. ओके, बट द क्वेश्चन हियर आज, which of the following is are not? So again, in previous classes I have also said this, sometimes you forget to see the not word and go for the correct one. So you always remember not. Zero budget natural farming, it is under Earth Ganga. So it will not be the correct because it has asked not. Monetization and reuse of sludge, again it is under, so it also will be incorrect for this question. Promote the culture, heritage and tourism of Ganga, again it is wrong. Why I have means crossed the all these three included under Earth Ganga, but question asked is not included. But since all these three are included, so all will be incorrect. So that is none. Okay. You can read the explanation. Earth Ganga concept, it focus on the sustainable development of the Ganga and its surrounding areas by focusing on economic activities related to the river. Under Earth Ganga, government is working on 6 vertical. What are the 6 vertical of Earth Ganga? Important. The first is zero budget natural farming, which was in the option. The second is monetization and reuse of sludge and wastewater. Third is livelihood generation opportunity, that is fishing and all. The fourth is increased public participation. And the fifth is model promotes the culture heritage, that is tourism. And the lastly is model to seek to promote institutional building by empowering local administration for improved water governance. So these are the 6 vertical of Earth Ganga. Basically, government want to explore Ganga for its economical benefit. That's in the question. Next point asked is, consider the following statement about Joint River Commission. It is a bilateral working group formed by India and Bangladesh. Okay, it works for the common interest and sharing of water source, irrigation, flood and cyclone control. So yes, it is a bilateral working group. Okay, so the correct action is C. Both 1 and 2 is the correct one. So the 38th meeting of the India and Bangladesh Joint Commission was held in Delhi recently. So the main point of जो विवाद का पॉइंट है बांग्लादेश और इंडिया के बीच में, वो तीस्ता रिवर वाटर को लेके है. बांग्लादेश वांट मोर वाटर फ्रॉम तीस्ता रिवर, बट इंडिया इज नॉट मींस सपोर्टिंग दिस. So that's why this joint river commission was formed. It is a bilateral working group formed by India and Bangladesh, established in the Indo-Bangla Treaty Friendship, Cooperation and Peace that was signed in March 1972 and came into being in November 1972. It works for the common interest of sharing of water resource, irrigation, flood and cyclone control. So this was in the news. Next question asked is, with respect to the disqualification of member of parliament, who among them among the following decide whether member was holding an office of profit? Option is Election Commission, President, Presiding Officer and Supreme Court. The correct answer is President. President is one who decide about disqualification in case of office of profit. What is office of profit? If any person is holding any profitable post along with MP and MLA post, that is suppose आप किसी कंपनी के चेयरमैन हैं, आप किसी नगर निगम में कहीं और पे भी है, in that case you have to either resign from your post when you assume the office of MP, MLA or any constitutional post, you have to resign from your previous post. Otherwise that will be included under office of profit. So who take decision? Decision is taken by the president. Is he take decision of his own? No, he concerned with Election Commission. So he take means concern, you can say he takes suggestion from Election Commission, and the suggestion or you can say the instruction of Election Commission in this case is binding on president. But whatever Election Commission advice to the president, president has to follow that. So that means decision making authority is president, but advised by election commission. You can see here under the provision article 1021, the article 191, constitution, an MP or MLA is barred from holding any office or profit under the central or state government. The decision of the president of India is final regarding disqualification of a member either house of the parliament. However, the president does not take the opinion of the election commission before taking a decision. So president does take, sorry, does not, I have spelled, does take the opinion of the election commission before taking the decision on disqualification. Yani ki president must take, you can say, the decision of election commission, and that is binding. Okay, so that's what I am trying to highlight. Moving on to the next question. Consider the following statement about tomato flu. It is in the news. Why it is, first of all, why it is called tomato flu? Because the symptom redness which appears on your body is just like a redness of tomato. That's why it is called tomato flu. It is a highly contagious, spread through close contact. It is a life-threatening virus. There is no specific drugs for this flu. So the correct answer for this is 1 and 3 only. It is a life-threatening virus. No, it can be cured by simple antibiotic. Recently, the Union Health Ministry issued an advisory on tomato flu, asking the state to take measures to prevent its spread. It is highly contagious and spread through a close contact. The first one is the right. Infants and young children are also prone to this. Okay, statement 2 is incorrect because it is non-life-threatening virus and could lead to a serious consequences by spreading to adults as well. Okay. Moving on to the next question. In which amongst the following case did Supreme Court ensure that convicted criminals don't contest elections? Okay, the question asked is कि जो एक बार कन्विक्टेड हो गए हैं अपने क्रिमिनल्स के रिकॉर्ड को लेके वो इलेक्शन कंटेस्ट नहीं करेंगे. So we have several examples of cases. Kehar Singh versus Union of India. What this case is all about? Who is Kehar Singh? He was involved in Indira Gandhi assassination. So this one is not right. So Kehar Singh was involved in Indira Gandhi assassination and it was his. Yeah, so this is the wrong. Again, it's Kalhato Holohan versus this one. This one is incorrect. Why? Because this case is related to power of speaker. This case is related to power of speaker. As you know that right now there is a fight going on in Supreme Court between Shiv Sena faction, and in that it is said that it is not the power of speaker to decide on the disqualification or something on the, that is 10th schedule anti-defection law, which I have already discussed in previous part. You can go through the previous current affairs sessions, and there I have discussed about anti-defection law. So this case is related to anti-defection law. In this case, it was challenged that speaker should not have right for this, but Supreme Court has said that since speaker is whole and soul of parliament, he is taking care, so he should have that right. So in case we can say that in this case, Supreme Court hold the right of speaker in anti-defection law. Again, the Lily Thomas versus Union of India. This is the correct. In this case, Supreme Court has stated that anyone who is convicted criminal will not contest election and he has to immediately resign from his post. That is, if he is convicted for 2 years, he has to immediately resign from his post. Earlier, there was a sub-clause 8.1. Under this, what was there? The People of Representation Act 8.1 say that if anyone is convicted, he is given 3 months of briefing period. That means breathing period, you can say 3 months. And in this 3 months, he can appeal to the court. And if court accepted his appeal, he will not be disqualified or something like that. But this has been, you can say, removed, and now he has been immediately removed. If he is convicted, he has been immediately removed. If court changes his decision, then he can back in the session. Okay. Same Lok Parari law was also related to this only extension of this, but the first decision Supreme Court take this in Lily Thomas versus Union of India. So option C is the correct one. Next question asked is, consider the following statement about National Family Health Survey. It is a large-scale multi-round survey conducted on representative sample of household through India. Okay, correct. International Institute of Professional Science in Mumbai is the nodal agency, the responsible for providing coordination and technical guidance for the survey. I think both is correct. Yes, bilkul. Both is correct in this. Next question is, with the reference to communication technology difference, this you might be knowing as you बहुत सारे लोग मोबाइल यूज करते होंगे और उनको ये पता होगा जो LTE होता है और वोल्टे होता है. The first option is LTE is commonly marketed as 3G, volte is commonly marketed as advanced 3G. No, it is 4G. You know that earlier we were using 3G. When 4G introduced, there was a sign of LTE in our mobile. And when again this voice call, the video call have been introduced, then sign of voltage there. So LTE is data only technology, voltage voice only technology. No, these again both are incorrect. So neither one, neither two. Voltage, video also. So you can read the explanation. Statement is not correct. LTE is a data only technology, voltage both data and voice. Okay. Next question asked is CSA6, seen in the news related to regulation of cell cycle, internet protocol, cyber security mechanism, trainer aircraft. The correct one is regulation of cell cycle. It is related to biology. Human body cell, you know that cell is a small building block, then tissue, then organ, and then finally organ system. So this is related to regulation of cell cycle, so that health cycle of the human being is can be. So this was in the news. You can say newly identified gene could due to treatment of fungal infection in immunocompromised patient. The gene could be CSA6, has been identified in Ehrlich's fungal species infamous for causing high rates of morbidity and mortality under certain immunocompromised conditions, such as AIDS during cancer treatment and all. So it is impacting person who is infected with AIDS and all. Okay. Considering the following statement, alternative investment fund. Okay. The question asks about alternative investment fund and the statement given regarding this. The first statement is, it is a fund of fund that invest in asset classes which include bonds, stock and cash. No, incorrect. It is invested apart from this, not on bond, not on stock, not on cash. So alternative investment fund is not invested in bond, stock or something like that. So the first option is incorrect. Second is, alternative investment funds are regulated together by Reserve Bank of India and Security Exchange Board of India. No, it is regulated by only SEBI, that is Security Exchange Board of India, not RBI. RBI has nothing to do with it. So both are incorrect in this, neither one, neither. Okay. So you can read the explanation part. SEBI is Titan oversees norms for alternative investment and VC fund. It is funds of fund that invest in asset other than bond, stock and cash, that I have already explained. AIF consists of investment fund that are privately pooled that invest in private equity, venture capital, managed fund, etc. Moving on to the next topic. It is a tradition theater from Karnataka. It is a temple art form that depicts mythological stories and Purana. It is performed with this type of question is surely asked, at least one or two questions. The features is given and you have been asked about that, about whom we are talking. Okay, so the feature is given. It is a traditional theater form in Karnataka. First, art that depicts mythological story of Purana. Second feature, performed with massive headgears, elaborate facial makeup, and vibrant costumes and ornament. So the option asked here is, it is related to which? So the Yakshgan is the correct one. So D. So it is related to, question is related to art and culture, and the correct option is Yakshgan, that is D. Yakshgan is a traditional theater form of Karnataka. It is temple art that depicts mythological story and Purana. It is performed with massive headgears, elaborate facial makeup, and vibrant costumes and ornament. Usually recited in Kannada, it is also performed in Malayalam as usually recited in Karnataka. So this was in the news. Moving to the next question. Consider the following statement. Sea ice have high albedo. What is albedo? The term albedo, first I'll explain. Albedo simply means reflectivity. What reflectivity means to say? Suppose it is a ice, and when sunlight falls on this, the amount it reflected back. You know that whatever sunlight is coming to the surface, most of the portion is reflected back to the atmosphere. So albedo, the term used for the reflectivity, the amount or the higher reflectivity a surface has is called high albedo. The first option is sea ice has high albedo. Yes, sea ice have high albedo compared to other ice. Second option is terrestrial albedo is the measurement of earth albedo. Okay, yes, both 1 and 2 is correct. Albedo is the fraction of light that reflected by a body and surface, thus a measure the reflectivity of the surface. Sea ice has high albedo. Terrestrial albedo is measure of earth albedo, and the earth terrestrial albedo is roughly 0.31. So this detail you need not to read, just you need to read that sea ice has high albedo, that is higher reflectivity rate than other ice. Okay. Next question asked is Joravar, recently seen in the news, is an aircraft carrier of the Indian Navy, indigenous design and developed light tanks. So B is the correct one. It is legendary Joravar Singh Kahaluria. So on his name, this tank was named, and warfare and several under Dogra King Raja Gulab Singh Jammu. So this was a light tank named Joravar. Next question asked is, which of the following statements are correct with respect to Gabon? It is located in West Coast Africa and equator passes through it. It is India's largest trade partner in African continent. No, India's largest trade partner is Nigeria. In African trade continent, largest trade partner is Nigeria. So this one is wrong. The correct answer is 1A only. This was a CT. Which was the following Gabon as a CT. Last question of today's session is, consider the following statement. Pet coke is a carbon-rich solid material that is a residue from a distillation. It is known for higher energy content and cheaper than the coal. The option asked is the both A and 1, 2. Pet coke is a carbon-rich solid material that is reside from oil distillations, and it is known for higher energy content and is cheaper than the coal. Indian companies are importing a significant amount of petroleum coke from Venezuela in the wake of increased global coal price and caused due to Ukraine war. Pet coke is a carbon-rich solid material that is residue from oil distillation and is known for higher energy content and cheaper than the coal. India is one of the biggest consumers of petroleum coke in the world and used for import large quantity of pet coke from the USA, Saudi Arabia, and importing from Venezuela. So that's all for today. So today we discussed important news of March first week, and also some of the important current affairs we have covered is from August 2020. So this we have finished August important 40 current affairs. In the next sessions, I'll take with September important current affair news and next 7 to 14 March current affair news. Thank you.